Hey, welcome back to another Rec Room tutorial. My name is Drew and today we're going to be showing you how to build a very simple tree. Alrighty, so we're going to be making this type of tree. It isn't going to be exactly like this, but it's going to be very similar. So what you're going to want to do is press and open up your watch menu, go all the way over to backpack, and then you're going to see that it shows the maker pen. You're going to want to equip that. When you have the maker pen in your hand, you're going to want to open up the menu. This is going to bring up all of the maker pen settings. Inside the maker pen here, you're going to want to go all the way over down to palette and search for the tube. It should be at the bottom. Once you have the tube selected, go back over into tools and go all the way over into this little create tool settings. Make sure that you have create grabbable objects off and create shape mode is to move, as well as uniform shapes are going to be off and scaled shapes with the player is also going to be off. Scrolling down, you're going to see create tube settings. Your tube settings are going to be essentially how you manipulate the tube. Your tube radius is going to essentially be how big you want the tube. For instance, if I were to move this slider all the way up, the tube gets bigger. We're going to want it at around 0.08. Scrolling down to the tube height scale, your height scale is going to essentially be how tall or how wide your tube is going to be. Moving on down to tube height scale. Your height scale should always start out as 1. When it's at 1, it's going to be a full circle, as you can see here. When it's lowered, such as 0.2, it is going to be a lot thinner on the sides, as you can see here. It's wider on this side than it is on this side. This is your height scale. This is going to determine the width of your tube. Now going down to tube facets. Your facets are going to be essentially how round you want your tube. For instance, at 10, it is going to be a full circle. When you move this down to 3 or 4, it is going to make it into a triangle looking shape. Notice how it is flat on this side, flat on this side, and flat on this side with an angle. It is not round like this one. We're going to want to keep our facets at 10. We're going to make it as round as possible. As listed here, this is going to be the same for all of them. Your tube radius should be at 0.8, your tube height scale should be at 1, and your tube facets should be at 10. The easiest way to bend and create a tube is going to be in the snapping settings. You're going to want to make it go to surface. When you have it on surface, you're going to notice it's going to go to any point that is either a floor or wall. You can do this on the floor and or on the wall. I'm going to do it on the floor. When drawing, you're going to want to make like a little noodle effect. So almost like that. It kind of looks like a noodle. You're going to want that. Then what you're going to want to do is go back into your menu, click the select option, click your little noodle, go back into the watch menu, click rotate, and rotate this almost vertically, as you can see here. Once your noodle is in a position that looks like this in horizontal mode, you're going to want to go back into the watch menu, go back all the way to snapping and turn it off. Once this is off, you can go back to the rotate tool and rotate this just ever so slightly to where the top part is completely flush, like so. You should have like a little leg or an L. What you're going to want to do from here is grab this, go all the way over to the clone tool, and use that tool that we talked about in the last tutorial. If you haven't seen that, I'll list it here. Once you're there, you're going to want to go and click on these pause and play signs. Once clicking this and holding, it will mirror the object that you have selected. Once you have it cloned and it's mirrored, you're going to want to push this into itself, making almost like a little tower. Once you're here, you're going to want to go back into the watch menu, click select, and select the other one. That way both of them are highlighted green. You're going to want to go back into the watch menu, click clone/flip, go all the way over, and you can clone this however you want. I'm going to just clone it right next to each other. As you can see here, we have two objects that look exactly the same. You're going to want to go into this and just select both of these. If you have created this, you're going to want to go to the manipulate tool and select both of these. Only select one half of these. Once you're in here, you're going to want to go to the rotate tool and click the green once. It should snap into place. Once it's rotated and on the opposite direction, you'll want to go back to the move tool and move this into the middle. As you can see here, we have created a tree trunk-like material or shape. What you can do from here is go into the recolor tool, go all the way over to color, and pick any color brand that you would like. I'm going to pick chocolate. Once out of the color tab, you're going to go all the way over to materials and grab wood grain. Once you have the material selected, go on down to the size, and I'm going to set mine to 90. You can have it anywhere in this. This is personal preference. Go back to your object and recolor it. As you can see, we have a nice brown wood texture on our little tree. Now what you can do is open your watch menu, go to the palette. Once you have your tube selected, is go into tools, and make sure your snapping is off. You're going to want to make a small circle, kind of like the one I'm showing here. This can be any size, but the smaller it is, the better. Once you have this roly-poly type shape, you're going to want to go back into your Maker Pen, go to Tools, click Select, and select your little roly-poly. Go down to Clone, and do exactly what we did with the tree. Clone right next to each other. Now that you have two roly-polies, you're going to want to go back into the watch menu, and click Rotate. Once in Rotate, you're going to rotate it just like we did with the tree trunk. And then you're going to move this right into there. What you're going to want to do from here is go back into your watch menu and recolor it. So click Recolor, and for the color, I'm going to do Terravert, this green one right here. Now for a material, this can be really anything that you would like, but I'm going to make mine carpet. Carpet is used for plants or even terrain, but I'm going to use it for the tree. Once you have your material selected, I'm going to go into the size. I'm going to turn it down to around 400 to 500. Anywhere in here is going to work. Now go outside the watch menu and recolor your little plant. What you're going to want to do from here is grab this using the Maker Pen, go to Tools, go to Move, and you're going to want to move this right on top of the miniature tree that you have made. Just put it right in the middle. Now what you can do is go back into the Maker Pen, go to Tools, Clone and Flip, and use this middle button right here to move around the tree. If you have a noodle base that you have cloned 3 times with the beginning part, you can go back into your watch menu, click Select, and select all 3 of these. You can go to Clone/Flip, clone this exactly right next to it like we've done for the past 2, go back into the watch menu, click Rotate, and rotate it once, clicking the green once. Once you have rotated it, clicking the green once, you can go back into the Maker Pen, go to Tools, and click the Move. You can move this right into the formation we've made prior. Once you have that, it should look like a tree. Now all that's left is to go back into your Maker Pen, go into the UI, go to Tools, and select the whole thing. Once you have the whole thing selected, you're going to be prompted with this Options button. You're going to want to click that. Once you click this, you're going to be listed with a bunch of different prompts. You're going to want to click Merge Shapes. When merging, it should ask you if you wanted to due to the permissions. You're just going to hit Yes. Once you hit Yes, it should be one whole shape as you can see here. Now all that's left to do is scale it. So go into your watch menu, go all the way into Tools, go to Scale, and you can scale this however big you would like. I'm going to scale mine around that big. As you can see, it isn't the best tree, but for a beginner, it's going to work out perfectly fine. You can mess around with the tube height and tube settings like we've listed before. If you needed trouble getting back to those, you open the watch menu, go to Tube, go back into Tools, and scroll all the way down till you see Create Tube Settings. Messing with these tube settings will give you a better, profound definition of a tree. Messing with them can make them smaller and bigger, like you've seen here. Again, this video was a very basic and easy tutorial on a basic tube tree. If this video helped you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button or even commenting if this helped you. Anyway, my name is Drew, and this was how to build a Rec Room tube tree in Rec Room.